Not in Chicago anymore. Back home in Washington, D.C., ready to tackle the rest of the time between now and the election in November. I am excited and I am ready to work, and I hope you are too. Let's talk about what took place last night in Phoenix, Arizona, or Glendale, Arizona, at a Trump rally at which RFK Jr came on stage and formally endorsed Donald Trump with a full-throated message of support for Donald Trump that was riddled with absolute hypocrisy, without doubt. If you had any questions about the motivations of Robert Kennedy Jr., it should be clear now. And the right wing, the worst of the worst, the most extreme elements of the Republican Party are thrilled. They are beyond excited about what has taken place, hoping against hope that it will garner some sort of advantage over Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I don't believe it will, because I think people are smart enough to see the writing on the wall that Robert Kennedy Jr is just a self-aggrandizing grifter, just a liar, a conspiracy theorist who really only wants power. Because if he really was concerned with environmental activism, he wouldn't endorse someone who says climate change is a hoax. If he truly believes that vaccines will kill us all, he wouldn't endorse the man who constantly runs his suck about and takes credit for Operation Warp Speed, which brought us a vaccine or several vaccines to combat COVID, potentially saving millions, if not hundreds of millions of lives. But that's not what happened. To talk about a little bit about the most extreme elements of the right wing, here's a tweet from Benny Johnson, who tweeted, "The strongest anti-establishment ticket in American history," which should give you some idea the depths to which the right wing has no qualms with just being insane hypocrites and liars and detached from reality itself. A Kennedy is anti-establishment now. A self-proclaimed billionaire with his name in giant letters on giant skyscrapers is anti-establishment. Either Benny Johnson has been kicked by a horse in his head, or he's part of the grifter class within the Republican Party. Charlie Kirk posted this little video outside, just off stage in Glendale before RFK went on. Charlie Kirk, the vile, anti-Semitic, racist piece of trash who hired disgraced writer from Tucker Carlson, Blake Neff, to go on his racist fireside chat every night, or whenever his little show airs. He had this message about what a patriot Robert Kennedy Jr is.
I'm here with an American patriot, Bobby Kennedy Jr. Great speech, Bobby. Thank you. And we're partners together to save the country. God bless you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Trump 2024. Stop Team Blue.
Yeah, patriot Robert Kennedy Jr. I mean, we don't even need to go into the litany of insanity surrounding his behavior, his life, his beliefs. And before I get to a video of Robert Kennedy Jr., I want to share with you a tweet that should end it all. Any speculation about where Robert Kennedy Jr. stands and who he is allied with. We've already seen all kinds of photos of him with the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst within the Republican Party. And when reached out to by his chief creative officer or some nonsense, chief operating officer, I think, of the War Room, his little show, emailed while in prison, asked about what his thoughts were for Robert Kennedy Jr.'s endorsement of Donald Trump. This is what Grace Chong tweeted. I emailed Steve Bannon at Danbury Federal Correctional Institution about Robert Kennedy Jr. in real Donald Trump's administration, and this is his response. Dream come true. Dream come true, says Steve Bannon about not only the endorsement, but the possible participation in a Trump administration. Dream come true. So here, I'm going to play just a brief snippet of some of the remarks made by Robert Kennedy Jr. in Phoenix last night. And I'm not going to play all of it because I don't want to put you through that. But it's coming in when he's talking about having spoken to Donald Trump on the phone just days before or hours before. And this were some of the things that Donald Trump told him.
And he told me that he wanted to end the censorship because the whole basis of American democracy is the free flow of information. And we know that a government that can silence its opponents has license for any kind of atrocity. And can you think of any time that you can look back in history and say that the people who were censoring were the good guys? They're always the bad guys, because it's always the first step down that slippery slope to totalitarianism. And don't you want a president who's going to protect America's freedoms? And who is going to protect us against totalitarianism? And I want to ask you again, don't you want a safe environment for your children? Don't you want to know that the food that you're feeding them is not filled with chemicals that are going to give them cancer and chronic disease? And don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
There was a large repeated refrain from Robert Kennedy Jr. in those remarks about making America healthy again, about protecting our kids from poisons in their foods. And yet Donald Trump wants to do away with the EPA. He wants to do away with the government organization that safeguards our air, that safeguards our environment in an effort to keep us and our children happy and healthy. So if you needed any more evidence about the life of Robert Kennedy Jr., I mean, look, I'm not going to speculate. I have no idea. I don't know him. But it would seem that he has jettisoned any adherence or even remembrance of his prior work as a famed, storied environmental lawyer to endorse a man who absolutely is an autocrat while whining about censorship while speaking to the world with a microphone in front of his fucking mouth. These people are beyond parody. They are liars. They are grifters. They are charlatans. They are self-interested. And now there's a doubly effective team. My curiosity lies in what we're going to see next from Robert Kennedy Jr. Supporters. I think that there's probably a fair amount of them who were in it for what they believe to be the right reasons. People who really truly believed in the message of fighting for the environment and battling against the existential threat against our very existence as a species of climate change. And I think that they're probably going to feel betrayed. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can leave a comment below. We can talk about it there. That will trigger YouTube to share this content with new viewers, and that is an exciting prospect. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I and Brittany Page and I are both going to talk more fully about the DNC the entire week that we were there. Maybe on a day-to-day, or like day-by-day thing, we'll discuss what took place. If you want to check that out, make sure you're subscribed to my podcast. I doubt it. And in the next day, we're gonna be posting an episode about that. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.